Oh, what's going on, guys? Today I want to talk about what red support characters I think you should be working on. This is not a tier list on how good the units are, rather how good they are for your support. This means once you get battle points, you can go to the battle point exchange and start buying shards for these characters because they will help your team out a lot. Now, at the end of the video, I'm going to be showcasing a couple team examples, but I won't be including any Bounty Fest or EX. That's because someone might have a certain Bounty Fest maxed out, whereas someone else doesn't. Same thing for EX. So here, you won't have any excuse. Once you pull the unit one time, you just buy 10 shards every single day, you grind them to level 100, and there you go. Alright, so in One Piece Bounty Rush, every character is guaranteed two tags, their role and the sea they're featured in. Now, the characters at the bottom of this tier list in whatever only have these two tags. However, it does not mean they're useless, they're great to fill. So for example, if you're using an attacker, you want someone with attacker in New World, and so Koala has that, right? New World is a tag that increases damage to opponents you're weak to, and that's very good. If you want someone that has Grand Line, then Wiper is just the choice for you because, again, it reduces damage to opponents of the same color. So overall, these characters are great to fill, but since they have the minimum tags, they're at the bottom of the tier list. Alright, next we have characters that are a bit more niche. And for example, East Blue is a tag that only 2 and 3 stars mainly have. So Shanks, if you want to use him, you're going to have to pair him up with 2 and 3 stars, which is not necessarily a bad idea. And it gives you East Blue, which increases damage to opponents of the same color. But if you want to use Shanks for the Roger tag, which reduces time of status infliction on you, which can be very good in this era of everyone has status infliction, well, you're gonna have to pair him up with other choices that are more pay to win, like Bouncy Fest and EX characters, and you're definitely not gonna stick to just reds. Because as a red, free to play, you only have one option, and even if you have many Roger Pirates, then you're still gonna have to pair him up with another color. And that's the same for Don Quixote tag, Logia tag, Kazuki tag. Any of these niche tags, it's going to be very hard to find 6 of that color, so it's best to pair them up in terms of duos, so blue and red, green and blue, for example, right? So Don Quixote tag is a tag that will increase your normal attack damage once you're under 50%. So for red free-to-play options, you only have Monet and Senior Pink, and for Kazuki, it's actually the opposite. Under 50%, you'll receive less damage from normals, so you're only going to have Kawamatsu and Nekomamushi, and so again, you want to pair them up with other colors, because even if you have some Bounty Fest options, it's going to be hard. Now, if you want Logia, because Logia is actually very nice against long-range opponents, because it will reduce damage received above 70% and also reduce stagger, so you only have Monet and Caesar. So again, your niche choices, you really need to think about it and pair them up with another color, even if you do have Bounty Fest and EX versions of these tags. Now, next we have Navy, and Navy is good if you're using a defender that doesn't have reduced knockback or change knockback or to something else, because being a defender, you actually like knockback, don't like knockback, sorry. So reducing it is very good. You basically only have these two as choices, but at the end of the day, you're going to have to use other colors or Bounty Fest versions, and so I wouldn't recommend it, especially if you have to sacrifice Zoan Grand Line, but at the end of the day, this can be very good, especially if you want to try a certain build on a certain character. It can be very, very nice overall. Next, you have characters with 3 tags. Again, these characters only have the 2 tags plus something else. So for example, these guys have Straw Hat Pirates as an extra tag, and she has Big Mom Pirates. Now, Big Mom Pirates, actually she has Paramecia and Big Mom Pirates, which Big Mom Pirates in the future can be actually very useful. The same way they made Animal Kingdom a new tag that's actually pretty solid. Big Mom Pirates in the future can be a good tag, and she can move up to 4 tags. That's why I put her at the top. And now these guys only have their role, the sea they're featured in, and Straw Hat Pirates. So again, very good choices. Grand Line, we have Zoro here, and if you need New World, you have all these choices here. All right, moving up, we have 4 tags. Now, they add 1 extra tag to the tags below. So for example, he has Captain, he has Captain as well, she has Paramecia, and he has Captain as well. So these characters, very good choices to fill up your team. Even better, they're very good, okay? Next, we have 7 Warlords. Above 50%, you increase the time of status infliction. So if you tremor someone or afflame them, the time will be increased. But more importantly, if you inflict yourself with the status, then of course it will increase that as well. And that's why it's really good. So characters like Sabo, like Akainu, like Zoro, and the new Zephyr, you will want this. So 7 Warlords, we have Mihawk, and there's one more character at the top of this tier list. So again, if you're free to play, you definitely want to match. You don't want to use just red because you just don't have 6 free to play red Warlords. But if you have pay to win options, then you can go ahead and use those. So Zoan is going to help you against blue characters if you're using a red defender and you absolutely want to max him out. Of course, there's the 3-star red chopper that is also a very good choice because it actually gives you Zoan Grand Line, which is actually a tier 2 tiers above Zoan, because the tier above Zoan is 5 tags. Now 5 tags are characters you absolutely must max if possible. Now these characters are very strong. These two have Grand Line, so you want to use them maybe on a defender. These guys have New World, so again, very solid choices. These are absolutely must-max characters. You'll basically use them on any red team. Now, the two characters here, Zoan Grand Line, these are very good, the best choices for defenders, right? Because if you're red, for example, you'll have damage reduction against blue and red, which is absolutely solid. And if you want to pair it up with another color, so if you're, let's say, using a blue defender, you want Zoan Grand Line, there you go. You can use this just to build your support up faster. So overall, these are super important characters to max out if you like using defenders, better than the characters below. If you don't like using defenders, then you can use the 5 tags above these two. Next, we have 6 tags, and these characters basically the best red option. You absolutely must max Snake Man Luffy. He has the most tags in the game. Very good. He has Straw Hat Pirates, and the best character in the game, instead of Straw Hat Pirates, has 7 Warlords. Again, like we said with Mihawk, this guy has 7 Warlords, which is a very rare tag, but very good and a must on pretty much certain characters like Akainu and Zephyr and Sabo get so much better if you have 7 Warlords on them as Golden Week. And so you definitely want to use this. And he has 6 tags with 7 Warlords. Of course, if you don't need 7 Warlords, then Snake Man's better because he gives you Straw Hat Pirates. But 7 Warlords is a better and rarer tag. So that's why Law is at the top and Snake Man is second place. And these guys third and here fourth. So anyone above him are absolutely must max, even Mihawk, I would say. And the characters below are for niche use or just to fill with whatever you need. Right, so for example, if you need more attacker Straw Hat Pirates, you can use Robin. If you need a Grand Line Straw Hat Pirate, then you might use Zoro. So again, it depends on what you need. And now we're going to go into the team building section and I'll showcase what I mean. Alright, so now I want to show you guys in-game what I'm talking about. So for example, if you're using a red attacker or a red runner that you want to be offensive with, then you can have the score of 4 units here and they will give you these amazing tags. But now, for example, you're an attacker, so maybe you want more attack. And of course, New World and Paramecia are great tags. But again, we don't have any attackers here, so you want the rest of the 6 slots to be on attackers. So I just have to click on attacker here, and I just put the free-to-play other attacker options I have. If you have any bounty vests, you can feel free to fit them in. But here again, Sanji, Robin, we said has 4 tags. Mihawk is a great option. Then we have Tashigi. And of course, like we said, there we go. Koala Sabo at the bottom of the tier list, but made out our last attacker. So of course, a lot of you guys are not going to have as many maxed out units as me. So for example, if you have this Zoro max or this Lucci max, then absolutely you can put them in instead of these characters. And now we have attackers Paramecia New World, which is basically the most important tags you want to have on any attacker. Very solid, very basic, and there you go. Because of the 4 core that you had at the beginning, you get to build this. Now, of course, I don't have medals and not all my characters are boosted, so my support is definitely going to be much higher, but this is just one example of what you can do with the 4 main core. So let's say you want to use a red defender in One Piece Bounty Rush. Well, you need 2 tags, Zoan and Grand Line. So the first step is to max out these 4 characters you see in the support right now, and more importantly is to max out Zoan Grand Line characters like Chopper, Kaku, Marco. Right, the other free-to-play Chopper is a very good choice because he's Zoan free-to-play, so absolutely must max, but the other 3 are even better. Now, what can you do? Well, if you have any other red Zoans, Bounty Fest, you can put them in, but even if you don't, well, again, like I said, it's very important when a tag is rare to match colors. So for example, put in some blues. So let's see, blue, Zoan Grand Line, right? This Chopper, ooh, suddenly, Zoan Grand Line. Now you just need 1 more. Now, if you have Sengoku maxed out, then great, you can add them in. And if you don't, well, you just need a Zoan, an extra Zoan, just 1 more. It doesn't have to be Grand Line. So let's say you have this Chopper maxed out. And then, well, now you just go back to red and fill it up with whatever you need. So go back to red and just go on Grand Line. Where's Grand Line? There you go. And then you can put these 2 Luffys. I told you they were amazing. If you don't have one of them maxed, you can put him, this Swiper, for example, and Robin, of course. So now that you have this, you have Straw Hat Pirates, Zoan Grand Line, well, you can just add Runner, just whatever. The Snake Man, like we said, is an amazing character with so many tags, so why not put him in? Or you can put in any runner you want, and then, well, you can just fill it up with the next best thing you have, right? So, for example, this Nami we have is boost 2. For me, I have this Robin here, that's boost 4. I can put this Robin, whatever I need to increase my support percentage as much as possible. So just put my strongest unit. And there you go. Just like that, you have 156% Zoan Grand Line, even though you needed 2 blues, right? It's not a big deal at all. And yeah, there you go. So I talked about niche tags, and the most used niche tag is 7 Warlords to increase the status infliction you set on opponents, but more importantly to yourself. So on characters like Sabo and Golden Week, very good choices. But as we saw in the tier list, there was only 2 red free-to-play options. So we're gonna have to come here and see what are our choices for 7 Warlords. Now we notice that there are 2 other free-to-play options in Buggy and Crocodile. Very nice, but that's pretty much it. Everything else is a bounty fest. So unfortunately, you're going to have to max out a bounty fest. Now, maybe you got lucky and pulled a bunch of dupes, right? This Moria and Boa are some of the oldest characters in the game. So you include them here. And what do we notice? Well, we notice that the closest thing we have is attackers, right? We want attackers for sure. So since Sabo's red and he's going to be our main, let's just select red. And of course, we saw this Luffy had many tags. This Robin had 4 tags. Next, we have Sanji who had 3 tags. And then we can put in her or her. And at the end of the day, as we notice, we can have attackers, Straw Hat Pirates, and Paramecia. Now, for example, we can maybe remove him, right? And maybe add, for example, Mihawk to get New World, right? And there we go. Now we have New World instead of Paramecia. So again, you can build and try to reiterate on your team again and again, and that way you can focus on the tags you want. But you're going to have to make small sacrifices, and maybe it's going to require you to pull for a bounty fest, unfortunately. But that's why when you pull for a unit, look at their tags as well. It's not just about their gameplay, it's about their tags. Once you max them, can you put them in the support? If not, maybe don't pull for them. You know, this is something you might look into. Speaking of niche roles, I'll end it here. We have like tags like worst gen. If your character is good at knocking back, then you want to increase the knockback distance. You can click here, click on worst gen, and put the worst gen characters you have, and then see what else you need to fill up as many tags as possible. If you want reduced status infliction time, then you put Roger Pirates. See which Roger Pirates you have by clicking here and adding them in, and then filling accordingly. Don Quixote if you want to deal more damage under 50%. Kazuki Clan if you want to reduce damage received from normals under 50%. Animal Kingdom is a new one that allows you to deal more normal attack damage above 70%. So it's kind of like the opposite of Don Quixote. And again, you just click on it, add them in, and then see. And then you're like, oh, okay, I only have 2, so this is not viable right now. But maybe you start maxing out your queen and page 1, and suddenly you can add out, maybe you pull a Duke Jack here and there, and suddenly you got something going. Right? And maybe instead of just having 6 level 100s, you can have 7 because you have a couple of level 80s, maybe you have 8, and you get that tag. Is it the best way to play the game? Absolutely not. But if that's what you want to do, then that's what you want to do, right? It's not the most efficient, but if that's how you have fun, then that's how you have fun. So at the end of the day, this is my guide on support for Reds. Yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed. Peace.